Hello, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and welcome to the latest episode of your Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate with me, your co-host, Pittsburgh Owen, speaking to you here in the UK. That's why I'm your voice from across the pond. Guys, remember, if you have not yet subscribed to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate and you like this content, hit that subscribe button. Come and join the Syndicate family, one of the fastest growing, newest channels out there talking all things Pittsburgh Steelers. And Mark and I are Steelers fans talking Steelers content for you out there in Steelers Nation, the real die-hard black and gold fan. First of all, thank you guys for all those of you who watched the Kenny Pickett video the other day. Over 2.8k views so far at time of recording. Thank you so much for that. So guys, today we're asking is, could this man here, could Justin Jackson be the ideal candidate for the Pittsburgh Steelers to sign as an RB2 to back up Najee Harris? Naji Harris played 84% of the snaps last season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, having 307 rushing touches and 74 passing touches, combined about 381 touches of the ball. His use was huge. Surely we cannot keep riding Najee like this because we are going to risk him being injured, and an injured Najee Harris spells disaster for our offense, both from a leadership side of it and also from having that talented running back who can turn big plays and even turn plays that are going wrong into positive plays. Look at the number of times he was hit in the backfield last year, but still managed to make a 2 to 3 yard gain. So we need, I think, someone who can come in and spell him an RB2. What does an RB2 mean as opposed to an RB1? Well, an RB2 will get what's left of the snaps. You would look at an RB2 to get somewhere in the region of, say, 5-6 touchdowns, 500 yards maybe in a season. You know, mopping up what is left of those snaps, 10 to 12 snaps a game. And actually being effective for those 10 to 12 snaps a game. Let's have a look at the current situation with the Steelers rushing by looking back at last season. So this is the Steelers rushing card from last season. Obviously dominated there by Najee Harris. 17 games played, 307 attempts, 1,200 yards, averaging 3.9. Then pretty much after that, it is a tale of woe. And what I think is embarrassing for the running backs is if you look after Benny Snell, who's pretty hopeless himself, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Mason Rudolph are all higher than the next highest running back, who is Kalen Ballage. So let's have a quick look. Benny Snell, 17 games played, 36 attempts, 98 yards for a 2.7 average with a long of 9. Pretty poor. What is Benny Snell football? Running into the back of your own blockers, not having any vision to find gaps. So for me, he is not the answer at running back 2. Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson are wide receivers. Both, pretty impressive. The fact they're not actually running backs. Mason Rudolph, 5 attempts for 53 yards. Kalen Ballage was the next running back. Kalen Ballage obviously is no longer with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We then go to Ray McLeod, a wide receiver. James Washington, a wide receiver. Juju Smith-Schuster, a wide receiver. Ben Roethlisberger, who was pretty immobile last season, had 20 rushing attempts for 5 yards, which is pretty poor, really. And then Anthony McFarland Jr., who played in 2 games, had 3 attempts and managed just 3 yards, which is 1 yard per carry. If you look at the reserve running backs, between them, got only 113 yards of production, which is absolutely appalling by any measure. So I think there is a real need to go out there and get a free agent running back who is going to come in and back up Najee and be someone who possibly really can be a genuine backup, who is not a waste of time handing the ball to. And for me, that someone could well be Justin Jackson. Justin Jackson is was last season a backup to Austin Eckler at the Los Angeles Chargers. So he's used to playing that backup role. Justin Jackson would be the ideal running back, I think, to fill that role, a bit of backup. He's 6 foot, he's 200 pounds, and he is capable of breaking off some very big runs. Even if he's not touching the ball a ton in a given game, he can still produce when he needs to. That's why he'd be a good backup option for the Steelers. He can also contribute in the passing game. He can come out of the backfield, catch short passes, catch screen passes, and be effective. He's good at juking, making people miss, and is that sort of guy who could be effective as a backup to Najee Harris. All in all, he's had 206 career carries for 1,040 yards, 4 rushing TDs, averages 5 yards per carry, which is not bad for a backup running back. He's also had 65 career receptions on 79 targets, which again is not actually that bad a catch rate. 508 receiving yards for an average of 7.8 yards per reception. He is a good option for me. If we actually delve into his stats, his rushing stats, You know, he's a solid backup. 206 yards in 2018, 200 yards in 2019, 270 yards in 2020, 364 yards in 2021. That was a career high. Touchdown-wise, 2 TDs in 2018, none in 2019, none in 2022, again in 2021. In terms of his receiving game, again, you know, 135 yards, 22 yards, 175 yards, 178 yards. You know, very consistent production there. In terms of touchdowns, yet to score a receiving touchdown, but it is what I would call a solid backup running back. Someone in who could come in and really spell Najee and give Najee the snaps off that he needs to rest and recuperate. There is no way we can use Naji Harris for 84% of the snaps this year, unless we're going to risk getting him injured. Now, I know Mike Tomlin likes riding his bell cow running back. I know that. You know, look at Le'Veon Bell. But in terms of Najee Harris, we need to spell him. We need to give him the opportunity to rest. And that's why I feel someone like a Justin Jackson could be a really good bet to come in and back up Harris. The guy's got solid production. He's a solid runner. He can break off big runs. He's got vision. He can find gaps. He can move out wide when he needs to. He's got a decent speed. It was a 4.5240, I think it was, when he was back in coming out of college. So he's not exactly a slouch. So overall, I think Jackson would be a good bet. Yes, there are others out there like Jordan Howard, who's very much more like a Najee Harris type runner. Obviously not the same talent. Wait, David Johnson, who I think is too old for the Steelers. He's not in that sort of age bracket. Steelers don't go for players over 30, which Johnson is. They're more likely to go for someone like Jackson, who is 26 years old. You know, he's coming off his rookie contract. You know, he's had all his time he spent has been with the Los Angeles and previously the San Diego Chargers. You know, he's got experience in the NFL. He is it the kind of player that the Steelers would actually would look to? I mean, he's been with the Chargers since 2018. He was picked in round 7 at pick 251, which is where the draft actually had him been taken between round 6 and 7. So I think he would be that solid backup runner. He's not going to be someone who's going to come in and want to be RB1. We're not going to have a Melvin Ingram situation. You know, when Ingram came in and thought that he should actually be starting over Alex Highsmith, that's not going to happen with a Justin Jackson. And that's why I feel that Justin Jackson will be a good backup for the Pittsburgh Steelers to sign in free agency. He wouldn't cost the earth either. You know, he's not going to be someone who's going to come in and demand big wages. He's not going to be someone who wants a lot of money to sign. So again, I think this is a win-win situation for the Steelers. You know, I think he was paid about $1.7 million last year. Again, given the fact that the Steelers have $15.1 million in cap space, that is not a huge amount of money for the Steelers to lay out on a backup running back. Guys, let me know, who would you like to see as RB2? I think it is a position of need. I can't see Benny Snell being a good RB2. I really can't see Anthony McFarland being a good RB2. So who do you think would be a great RB2 to back up Najee Harris? Drop me a comment below. And guys, remember, if you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Come and join the Syndicate family. Thanks for listening, guys. And let's finish this, as we always do, with Here We Go, Steelers. Come on!